And welcome everybody to ASD Live Kentucky Derby Edition, sponsored by Manitoba Liquor and Lotteries. One of the days that definitely me and Stretch look forward to, as this is a prelude to opening racing, which is on May 13th this year. But what a way to kick it off with the Derby. We have a great field in the Derby field, as usual. 20 horses. There's 14 races going on Derby Day. We're going to exclusively do 6 of them for our bets, races 6 through 12, or 7 through 12. We're going to look at races 5 and 6 because those are part of the stakes races. And of course, the Kentucky Oaks is tomorrow, which is Friday. And that's for 3-roll fillies going a mile and an eighth. A lot of exciting stuff in the 2 days stretch. What are you looking forward to most?
Absolutely. This is so many good races. And as I've mentioned in the past, this is the one day that most people, if they pick one day to play the races, that it's on Saturday. So that's where it becomes our advantage. The pools are so big. You've got people taking shots at all sorts of horses, all kinds of bets. So if you do a bit of the work and maybe we can give that information that you're looking for, certainly can help you out there. Now, I took a look at, it's a marathon on Saturday, 9 hours. I think we could, we might even be able to finish the marathon in the 9 hours.
Well, yeah, maybe.
maybe. I'll be playing the races for maybe at least 9. But anyway.
Maybe a few after too.
Of course. Kentucky Oaks?
Well, let's start off with the weather Stretch, because you're the tall one. Your head's half in the clouds anyway. What's going on?
That's true. You were saving that all season.
I was waiting.
It's pretty good. I've checked the one app. It's 66 degrees Fahrenheit, 20% chance of rain, maybe a little more chance on the Friday. We'll see. I said to Kirt off air, if you don't like that forecast, let's find a different app. That's what I always do. So that's the app I decided on. Only 20%. That means 80% sunny. But reminder, all of our picks are based on fast and firm. And so if it gets sloppy or something, could be some scratches and go from there.
Yeah, and it will change with the scratches. Unfortunately, with us doing it so early, we do not get those. But we will touch on some of the also eligibles that we think maybe have a shot. But Stretch, let's give it a go. Kentucky Oaks, Friday, race number 11. Torpedo Anna won this race last year at 9-2, beating Just FYI. Who do you like in here?
Okay, I decided the 11 that you have is going to be the favorite, deserves to be the favorite. There's no knocks against this. I can't disagree with your selection, but I decided let's take a bit of a price here on the 6 horse. I like the figures on this horse. Checked out the workouts, a B+ work 2 back. I think it gets that right trip, and then basically there is enough speed. I think he's going to just kind of set it up for him.
Yeah, no doubt about it. That horse is live. I like your selection in here. I have to go to Good Cheer on top, though. The undefeated horse, 6 for 6. And what a great running style. This race is loaded with speed. 6 horses like the front end. So I think it's going to be a real heated pace with Good Cheer sitting right in behind, has a good stalking effort, can be 5 or 6 off of it. It doesn't matter. Won the last 2 with the greatest of ease. I think this is just a super filly.
Absolutely. That's fair. Just some of the field sizes weren't as big. I do like my long shot, the 1 horse, quite a bit. This horse ran such a game race last time, battled and then came back on. There is other speed. I thought maybe Zayas might be able to just kind of sit just off and maybe get that trip. And would need a trip to beat my top 2 selections, especially the 11, but couldn't leave it out 30-1 morning line.
Yeah, a couple others that I like. Quiet Side, the 14 horse, does draw the worst post position of them all, but was second to Good Cheer in Churchill. And that was a great rallying effort, which is kind of the horses I am looking for in this kind of race. And number 10, Take Charge, My Lady. What a sharp workout coming in, 59-2. I always love when a horse comes into a racetrack and goes over it. Everybody in this race pretty well has been working a half a mile. This one decided to work 5/8 and was the best of the day at 59-2. And what a great race last time. Was second to a loose speed horse. Almost ran it down. tough catch and loose speed horses. So I'm going to give you 11, 4, and 10. And Stretch, 6, 11, and 1?
6, 11, and 1.
Yeah. All right, so that's Friday night. On to Saturday we go. We're going to start at race number 5. It's the Distaff Turf Mile. Last year's winner, Chili Flag, 4-1. And Chad Brown has had a lock on this race for the last 4 years, winning it. Who do you like in here, Stretch?
Yeah, I decided to take my top selection and a bit of a price just because these are the graded stake races. So we'll talk about that. I had to go with the 6. Has the class. Really like, if you take a look at second off a layoff, has won both starts second off a layoff. And that was kind of the key for me. It ran an even race last time out, but turn those lower past performances. It just sets up for a top effort for her.
Yeah, I don't see a lot of speed in this race at all. So I'm looking at number 2, moving on up. Safi Joseph, a good friend from Barbados, knocking him dead at Gulfstream on the Florida circuit. And moving on up, back-to-back wins coming into it. I think this horse is getting better as a 4-year-old. Had a good 3-year-old campaign. But the difference between these horses at turn 2 and 3 and 3 and 4, you can see some remarkable differences in it. And I think this is the difference. Can sit right there. Even if it doesn't go to lead, it'll be in a stalking position. And the 5-1 morning line, absolutely loving it in here.
Yeah, and my bit of a price horse is the 7 horse. You're thinking that there's not that much speed. Then if that's the case, then this horse might be up against it, but has some solid final quarter finishes. And if this horse can just get in the right spot and not get too far back, certainly can be there. That's why I got the 6 and 7.
Yeah, I got a couple long shots. The 1, Venetia. This horse is a deep closer. Well, if the closers can get there, this might be able to get a piece. And the 5 Towns, Irad Ortiz, who was on the last 2 Chad Brown winners. Well, that was Irad Ortiz. Why not throw him in? So I'm going to give you 2, 1, and 5. Now we're going to carry on to race number 6. It's the Pat Day. And they're going to charge the 1 mile over the dirt. Last year's winner, Seize the Gray, for Dwayne Lucas at 9-1. Stretch. What about in here?
Yeah, this is the almost Kentucky Derby horses. Most of them were nominated for the Triple Crown. So I guess if you saw a big effort here, they could then try to go maybe to the Preakness after that. Also, you have the owners and trainers that have realistic hopes and recognize that trying the Derby is probably not the smartest move. That's why we both went to the 1. I think this there's going to be a quick pace, but I think Ortiz can just sit and stalk just behind it and make that early move. Let the rabbits kind of head out there and go. Morning line's 2-1. I think I need at least that, just because in case this horse is a need the lead type, then kind of up against it. But yeah, I had to make it my top pick.
Yeah, I think it just goes for positioning, whether that is on the lead or sitting just off it. As a 2-year-old, it showed it can rally from just off the pace. And I think that is the best form. But that last race that Matticat Road ran against Tappan Street, Sovereignty, that is the key race for me. There's none of those. They're in the Derby. I think this is the easy spot. Matticat Road, I think this will be one of the shortest price winners of the day.
Okay.
And who do you like to go with it?
I got the 5 as a bit of the price horse. I watched this horse 2 back, made a nice move. One of the horses that does pass horses late. It does. The bad part is they say that this horse had some trouble. I didn't see the trouble, so it's going to hurt the price for sure. When the charter puts that, everybody, must be that. Horse was also scratched, but then has a work coming in. Little concerned about that, but I just like the running style of this horse, and that's why I had to go 1 and 5.
And I ended up taking the 9 as a little bit of a flyer to tie into my tries. Dwayne Lucas, as I said, won the race last year. This horse doesn't look up to it to beat a lot of these in here, but the running style is good. If there is that heated battle on the front end, this one will be picking up pieces light. So I'm going to give you 1 and 9. All right, on to race number 7. This is kicking off the Derby Pick 6. It is the Turf Sprint. That last year, Cogburn ended up going wire to wire at 8-1 for Steve Asmussen. And there is a lot of speed in here again today, and especially in the 1 Coppola.
Yeah, no kidding. I'm going to talk about that one when we get to that in a second.
What a quarter horse.
Yeah, absolutely. We end up on the top horse in which is interesting because it's a tough race. I think it's not as straightforward as for both of us to have the 8. But I just thought that this horse is just running so well. Last time out, this horse stalked and then game. So I like that first start. Be careful to see how this horse breaks, because if you look at the races in Europe, there were many races started slow. Maybe in the States, they figured out maybe different gates or something. But if this horse should improve off that, and I just think that the horse is going to possibly beat the horse that lost to it last time. Think big.
Yeah, no doubt about it. That race 2 outs ago, that was such a good race. If you want to watch a replay on a horse, watch this one. Tons of trouble at every given point, nowhere to go, hemmed inside. But when they released, wow, the horse just blew on by and took the win easily by a length. And that comeback race, I don't think that was a bad one against Think Big. I think it just needed that start under the belt on the local surface after it shipped on over. I'm going to give it a pass on that one. Even though it ran so good, I think there's remarkable improvement to be had. And that's why, again, my top selection.
Yeah, both of them. Absolutely. I think what we both had to include the 7. This horse just wins races 3 for 3 at the distance. That's huge. Just going to need that clean trip. Last time, it didn't have the explosive as I'd like to see in the 2 back, but it's a grinder, likes to win, and you can't leave those horses out at all.
Yeah, I like that this horse has won 3 out of the last 4. Again, with the speed on the inside of Coppola. Coppola will take care of any and all speed in this race. The way this horse broke out of the gate last time, did you watch that replay, Stretch?
I did, yes.
Like a quarter horse, had 3 lengths on the field and waited for them to catch up. And at the head of the lane, the tank ran dry. But if they push this horse to suicide fractions and anybody wants to take up chase, they won't be around in the end. So that's why I went to number 3, Nobles. This is a horse that runs well on the front end and ran good in the turf sprint, winning it back in 2023. But that was in wire-to-wire fashion. I don't think it'll be on the front end today, but it has an adopted style where it can sit a couple lengths off. So most of the winners of this race are near the front end. You don't see the big, deep closers getting there. So I think Nobles, you got to throw it in to get a piece.
Yeah, it's a fair comment. I got to talk about the 5 because I had to include, because last time went to the lead. I don't think the horse is going to go to the lead. I always like horses that change the running style, sets it up for possibly sitting closer. As Kurt's mentioning, you can't be too far off. And if you take a look at Wesley Ward's percentage, 33% going from synthetic to turf, and you're going morning line 6-1. I think that's an include that. Just mentioning about the one that we keep talking about, yeah, it's that extra half furlong.
But is that everything?
It is everything. It's one of those you might want to watch as the day goes. Maybe the speed will hold a little bit longer, and it's just, I don't know if I'm going to include it, but is morning line 10-1. Maybe everybody assumes the horse is going to stop and creeps to 20-1. Might have to include it, but not my top 3. 8-7-5.
Yeah, I agree with you there too, and I'm 8-3-7. Now we're going to carry on to race number 8. That is the Churchill Downs Sprint. Gun Pilot, the winner for Asmussen last year, who has won 3 out of the last 5 events. And this horse, when Gun Pilot was 5-1 last year, this is a great betting race.
It is a great betting race, and I do like my top pick quite a bit. So, Kurt, probably add this in your pick 5 just try to help you out.
Okay. Yeah, banishing. Okay.
This horse is 2 for 2 at the distance, 3 out of 5 in the money against and Churchill Down. Cuts back after showing speed, and the figures going long and in the middle are solid. I don't think the horse shouldn't be on the lead. That's fine. I don't want the horse on the lead. I want this horse sitting in 3rd or 4th and make that move. And I think 6-1 is absolutely huge value. For me, I think the horse should be closer to 3-1. That's how much I like this horse. Like I said, one of my top plays on the card.
Yeah, there is a lot of horses in here that their best race, good enough to win this one. It is mind frame looking at this one. 3 wins out of 5 starts. The only 2 blemishes against Dornoch. What's wrong with that? Absolutely nothing. That was a paid workout, that last race. Did get a little bit tired down the lane, but being off a year, get the prep, has the good running style. When he was coming around the turn, Irad Ortiz, when he took that peek behind, you knew the race was over. And then getting tired inside the 16th pole, that's not a surprise, but the horse wasn't losing any ground. So still my top play.
Absolutely.
But a short price.
Yeah, a short price. The only reason it's not my top selection is I thought this horse is looking for bigger races down the road and may not be ready, the focus of the race. But it could be maybe 80 or 90% and still win this race. The horse has so much class. And
it's such a nice cutback from the mile to 7 furlongs. That furlong is everything. And if it was 7 furlongs last time out, the whip wouldn't have came out.
It's fair. I went with the 11. I'm not that concerned about the post being out there. I think it's a long run to the first turn. The horse has enough speed to find positioning. Nothing wrong with sitting 2 or 3 wide in the stalking position. If this horse runs back to the summer races, watch out. This is another one of those top type horses, and a top effort certainly can win. I wouldn't be surprised in about 3 or 4 in here at least. If they run their top effort, they win by 3 or 4 going away.
Oh, yeah, definitely. This one loves Churchill Downs. 3 for 3, the distance. 5 for 5, top 2 with 3 wins, 2 seconds. Can go to the front, can sit just off of it. And there isn't a pile of early speed in here. If everybody looks at each other early and lets Mulligan go out to the front, could be long gone. Another horse I like, number 3, Bookham Dano. Here's another one that's really accomplished at the distance. 5 starts, 3 wins, a second and a third. But look at 12 lifetime starts, 7 wins. This horse just keeps finding ways to win, has won from well off the pace, has won battling like it did last time out to draw off to win by 2, and it has even come from middle of the pack. So a very versatile horse in this race, unsure on the pace setup. So because of that, Bookham Dano can adapt.
Yeah. So I'm 2-11-7.
And what am I? I'm 7-3-11. There's so many races here. Okay, on to race number 9. We have the American Turf. It was bombs away at this 1.16 distance last year. It was Tri-Carry blowing up the tote board, 47-1. Are we going to see a price like that this year, Stretch?
No, I don't think so. I didn't have that horse yet last year. Did you?
No. That would have been an all-button.
That would have been, yeah. So that's yeah.
And I didn't have the all-button in that race.
All right, we got 14 going to post, 4 also eligibles. I wouldn't, in the also eligibles, which certainly could get in, I wouldn't include them in my top 3.
Either would I.
Okay.
No.
Yep, just to throw that in there. And so if an outsider wins, then I wouldn't have had it. Anyway, let's go to Zulu, the 7. This horse has won 4 times. I like a nice tightener at Tampa Bay. I think this horse should improve. I think this is the horse to beat. Nobody jumps off at the page for me on the pure closing. So these are my top picks, but it's not like I got to run to the wickets and play these because I see an amazing race that I saw from one of them. So I'll start with Zulu as my top pick, the 7.
Yeah, and I ended up I have Zulu in there. This horse has yet to do anything wrong. The one bad race, had a little bit of trouble, lost his whip in the lane, but definitely going to be a force early on in the pace. I went to the 3, New Century. This is a horse that shipped over last year, went to Woodbine. What a move to draw off to win in that one from the back of the field. Then came back in this in the Breeders' Cup Turf Juvenile and ran a great race in there. Only got beat by 2 lengths. Got in a little bit of trouble down the lane. Nothing spectacular, but did beat the 7 in that start, Zulu Kingdom, but has a really good running style. But I watched that last race that he did run, and then I did a little bit of digging in what New Century ran against. Well, Field of Gold, who ended up winning that, won 3 out of its 5 starts, including a grade 1. Wimbledon Hawkeye ran second, was a grade 2 winner, also with really good form. And the third place horse, Amore City, was also a grade 2 winner, also bringing a really good past performance in there. ran against 3 monsters in that last race. Looks like a bad race, 5th beaten 5. I always say if you're within 5 lengths, you're competitive. Horse ran even, should move forward off that. I think we could see a different horse today.
Yeah, good information for sure. So the 9 is Stretch's super long shot of the day. That's the 9. Take a look, Kirt. You better.
Giacoso, okay.
Here we go. Why does Stretch like him? It's because you take a look at the race on November 8th. The Churchill Downs was the winner, was the favorite. Yes, it was an allowance race, but the turn of foot was solid. It's very good. Watch that replay. Then the next 2 starts are one on the dirt and one on the synthetic. Let's throw those out. 30 up past performances. I think if you 30-1 morning line, unless Kirt touts them and then go down in odds. But maybe I will get that 47-1. But I do like this horse as a sneaky long shot because those other 2 races just don't fit. It's showing it right there on that last race that the horse is competitive.
Yeah, the other horse I do like is number 5, Test Score. And who had Tri-Carry last year? Who trained it? Well, guess what? Graham Ocean, who has a 5 horse in here. And look at when Franco rides this horse. I really like races where the jockey, especially with horses like this, they travel everywhere. They don't get their jockey all the time. But when Franco has ridden this horse, 2 wins and 2 seconds. The one that he ran second to, the horse came back to win. The other one, the horse came back to win. So he has never done any wrong in those races. So I think this horse, with its running style, it has missed the board only once in 6 starts. I think this could be a good one. And the 10-1 morning line, I think he'll get all of that.
Good call. My last one is the 10, which I could have included a little higher, but that hasn't had a start. I would have liked to seen a start. All the races are good. This horse clearly has some talent. I think you've got to use it. So I'm going to go 7, 9, 10, 3.
And I'm going 3, 5, and 7. On to race number 10. It's the Derby City Distaff. And this should be a great race as they're going 7 furlongs. Last year's winner was Vaha, who is back in this race. Went off at 2-1 Stretch. All right. What do you have in here?
Okay. Yeah, now we had the boys earlier going 7. Now the girls. Let's go. It's one of the 2 true 7 furlong specialists, and that's what the 2 certainly is. 3 for 3 at the distance. Anything longer than 7, the horse is a completely different one. Doesn't belong in almost stake horses when it goes longer than 7. So that's perfect. The race is 7. Know the distances. Looks solid. Looks solid at Santa Anita. Yes, I know it was only 4 horses, but just looks so good in there. And when the jockey said, let's go, she went. And so had to include that one.
Yeah, I see a lot of speed in here. Unless she can sit back a little, as she did in her first lifetime start and make that rally, she can run that kind of a race. I think she's better. But with that inside post position, usually they get a little excited. Kimura, it's the big race for him. So he might just get out there and try and freewheel. But with all that other speed, I had to go to a closer, and I'm going bombs away here. It's number 11, Positano Sunset. Here's a horse that last year had a lot of starts, 7 of them. No winning efforts, 3 second-place finishes. How could I like a horse like this in a grade 1? Well, starting off the year in a handicap, the horse looked mighty different as it rallied from mid-pack to draw off to win easy. Then in the comeback race, jumped up to the grade 1 variety, wasn't respected in there, went off at 14-1, and again ran the exact same race. I said it earlier on in the show, some of these horses from 3-4, 2-3, they are different horses. And those buyers of 92 and 100 compared to all the rest, that's in the climbing variety. And I like horses that are rolling, and I'm definitely going to get a price.
For sure. I got the 8 and the 7 in here. The 8, I'm throwing that last race out. Didn't like Delmar. I watched that race. Wasn't ready to run. The other races sitting just off. The horse just wins. The figures are there. And then the 7, as you mentioned, how do you leave out the 7? Won this race last time. 4 for 4 at Churchill. 5 of 9 at the distance. Must use. I'm 2, 8, and 7, and you've got the 1.
Yeah, Sila. I think this one's an interesting one. Loves Churchill Downs. 4 for 4. Draws inside in here. Yes, has yet to start. Has been working up a storm like all of them do, all the good horses. Does have good tactical speed. So I think we'll take advantage of all the speed that's in here to sit just off it. Rosario jumps aboard. And last year, this horse could have got a piece of this race, but unfortunately went in an allowance race. Well, fortunate for the winners, because it went in an undercard race and destroyed them by an easy 7. They're not making that mistake this year. They're going for the big money. And I think this horse does have a shot, is good enough, has ran against grade 1 and grade 2. So I'm going to give you 11, 1, and 8. Now we're going to carry on to race number 11. It's the Turf Classic, and always a great race. Won last year by Program Trading. Chad Brown trained 4-1. Stretch, what do you got?
All right. Yeah, I found this race very tough to kind of gauge because the horses are all over the place. Some are running West Coast, East Coast, and against each other. So I understand Kurt's pick very much, and he's going to get value.
I'm going to get lots of value.
I just didn't know is that group better than the other ones, and I've decided to take a shot and go elsewhere. That haven't run it, and that's my only angle there. You'll see in my pick 4 that I have a mittful, not quite all, but almost. I just like the 7 racing at Tampa Bay back in February. Yes, it was probably an easier field, but still won. 2 for 4 at the distance. I like the running style. I don't think the horse is going to be that far back. Also, the horse has won 8 of 16 races. You always like that. 5-1. Take a shot in a wide open race for me.
Well, we know who the speed is. Number 5, I'd rather be blessed. 2 outs ago, wouldn't mind a part of that win price. 86-1. But last time out, hit a little bit of a tougher field and didn't end up lasting all the way. But I ended up going to a horse that ran against it 2 outs ago. That's number 8, Cameo Performance. This horse has been running all over the country. The one start at Churchill Downs wasn't a great start. It was just a minor stake for $250,000, but ran good in the Marine at Woodbine and then came back with another good race at Ellis Park. I think that Fairgrounds race was a wake-up race for Cameo Performance. And with how well it did in there with that stalking running style, I think Cameo Performance, I'm taking a shot in here, changed my mind about 8 times. So I landed on the edge.
Oh, why not? That's the type of race. We're both on the one that, again, one of those that wins at the distance. In fact, 3 of 6 at the distance. Had a nice prep a few weeks ago. Ran a nice even race there. I think it just sets it up for an improved effort. I think it's an include. Is it a win bet? Probably not, but a must-have in a sequence bet for sure. Maybe if I'm running a show or a place parlay, that might be my horse.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with losing to Carl Spackler.
No.
So that just in itself is a good thing right there, and maybe making it a win bet, but I don't think the odds are going to be high enough. Should get a perfect trip in here. So I do like it, and I like number 10, Spirit of St. Louis. Franco jumps back aboard, and look when Franco is on this horse. 6 starts, 5 wins, and lost by a narrow nose, running second. This horse has won 10 out of 15 starts, a model of consistency. Chad Brown has won this race 4 out of the last 7 times. So not a bad pick, I think.
No, it's a good angle. I included the 3. Again, another one that likes to win. I'm including in tries and supers. Has won almost half of the races and does have a win at Churchill. So that's why I'm a 7, 1, 3, 8, 10. Because it's one of those races
all button
for me.
I'd feel safe in here.
Yeah.
A very good race. I'm giving you 8, 1, and 10. Now here we are, race number 12. It's the Kentucky Derby, 1.25 miles for 3-year-olds, 20 of them heading to the gate stretch. Last year's winner, Mystic Dan, at 18-1 for Kenneth McPeak, and favorites have not been doing well in the Derby, at least the last 5 years.
Yeah.
They've been hitting a piece of it, but just not getting the win. Here, let me tell you the winning prices in the last 5 years. Well, last year, 18-1. Then it was 15 to 1, then 80 to 1, 29 to 1, and 65 to 1. What have you done for me lately? Well, I'm not picking chalk.
Okay, so I've got you've statted that one. I'm gonna outstat you with a couple more in here, and I'm gonna start with post 1. In the last 34 races, has 1 second. Here's the keeper. I'm glad you don't have this horse on it. Post 17 is 0 for 28 in the last 34 years.
Ooh,
to be
Sandman
in the money. The money.
Ow.
So I'm booking all show bets on Sandman. If you want to, just call me.
Wow.
And that horse is 6 to 1. 6 to 1. So like you said. So it's interesting on some of these stats. So yes, I know you just.
What's interesting is how did we come up with the same horse?
We actually didn't. We actually don't have the same horse. We're actually the 8 is I did go with the chalk on that one, and so I've decided I was between the 8 and the 7, and kept going back and forth on that. So I did land on Journalism after I watched the race a second time, and this horse was stuck behind in the 5-horse field. I can imagine what the jockey got told to do, getting stuck and boxed in a 5-horse field. It's like, and then I'm thinking, well, maybe that was the plan because it's setting it up for the 19 that are going to be in front. Anyway, this horse is ready to go. When this horse got out, it exploded. Distance shouldn't be a problem. Get that trip, should be right there. I hate the do factor, but I think this horse is a real deal. I'm not going to go Triple Crown just yet prediction, but the horse is going to win. Go ahead.
Wow. 19 get to try and beat it. Well, I'm going to try and get it beat. I think Journalism. Yes, this horse, but 20 horses.
I know.
That
You're
is
right.
the key.
You're right.
And I don't know, favorites the last 5 years, second, third, fourth, and 15th. So, yeah, I can get a piece of the money. I ended up going to number 9, Burnham Square. This horse is one of the deeper closers, actually more a mid-packer. And if you look over the last 6 years, 2 of them came from the clouds. Nobody's gone wire to wire, but it's 6th to 8th. Those are the ones that have got the win. And I like the way this horse ran last time. East Avenue went to the front end and tried to steal it every step of the way. But Burnham Square just got up in the final strides to get there. The previous start was 4th beaten 3 to Sovereignty. I just think that was an off race. You can't bring your A game every day. And if you only get beaten by 3 on an off day, I think that is great. And before that, back-to-back wins, even beating Tappan Street, who Tappan Street probably would have went off as the favorite in here if the horse wasn't sidelined right now. So I'm going to the 9, Burnham Square.
Good. And so the ones I was flipping back and forth was between the 7 and the 8. Yes, Kirt, the Japan horse.
Wow.
Watch the replay on this horse's last race. You have to it's easy to go online, YouTube it, and very impressive. Basically, I think the 8 is better than everybody racing in North America. So this horse cannot run if it doesn't run, I think runs that race, the others can't beat them. So I had to find somebody that he hasn't really been around and just liked the race. Basically the jockey sat on Luxor Cafe and kind of said, let's go, push button. This is a push button horse. Exploded and then actually got shut down the last little bit. So I think this horse has even more to offer. 15 to 1 morning line. Hopefully I get 15, but I'll even take about 12 to 1. So you got to watch the replay. You'll be impressed. And then Kirt will add that one.
Yeah, well, maybe. I got a bunch in the last
yeah,
here.
That's true.
Another horse, Sovereignty. How can you not like this one? 5 starts, 2 seconds, and 2 wins. Second in the Florida Derby at Tappan Street. What a great race that was. The previous race won by a neck. That was another good one in the Fountain of Youth. I think the running style is everything. The post position, no, it isn't great, but I think the running style is. So another one I just got to add in the mix.
Yeah, and that's my third selection. I completely agree with you on that. This horse was on my horses to watch. I've made notes on this horse. This horse went another half furlong. Probably catches the winner in the last race. I think we'll have to handle the traffic, but this horse is a big horse, a grinder. Can't leave it out. So that's why I'm 7, 8, 18.
Yeah, and the other horse I want to talk
I'm sorry,
about.
8, 7, 18. I'll get it right.
8, 7, and 18.
It depends whatever comes into my favor. That's my picks.
Yeah, okay. And the other horse I want to add in, the also eligible.
Yes, I'm glad you did.
That is number 21, Beza. As of this morning, I heard rumors there may be a scratch. And if that is the case, and if you see my wagers, I do have this 21 horse in here, and I am hoping for a scratch. You never like to see it, but I will.
Yeah.
Because this would have been my top play. I love that last race it ran against Journalism. I think made the move too early and got caught late. That was reminiscent of Forte, and what was the other name of that horse? Oh, Maj. That was 2 years ago.
2 years ago, yes.
And guess who's a half-brother? It might be the 21 horse. And who's another half-brother to them? Thornock, who had a pretty good year last year, not in the Derby, but did do good in the Preakness and the Belmont. So I think Beza, if you haven't looked at this horse at all and seen Journalism on there, but don't leave it out. I'm throwing it in my picks. So I'm taking 9, 18, 8, and 21.
Very good. You're like in mid-season form. You're good off a layoff today. Like, what's going on?
I have no idea.
Anyway.
It's kind of like I've done this before or something. I don't know.
All right.
Okay, Stretch, and now we're going to go to our wagers for the Kentucky Derby. We're going to start at race number 7 and carry on through there. So race number 7, Stretch, what do you have?
Okay. This is a tricky one. I just did a $3 exacta box 1.
Oh, sorry. We're starting with the Oaks.
So we're going to start with the Oaks. Let's start with the Oaks. Yes. We'll start with the Oaks. And right there, it's just a small little bet. $3 exacta box 1, 6, and 11.
You didn't make enough money this winter, Stretch?
I'm easing into. I've got some bigger bets coming up.
All right. Well, it's Friday. It's payday.
That's true.
So I'm going a $5 track to wheel. Undefeated horse, the 11 on top. 14 for second with 1, 6, and 10. And then I'm taking 11 on top again with the 1, 6, and 10 wedge for second. And the 14 for third. Altogether, $30. And now our bets for race number 7, Stretch.
All right, you're already in on the.
Man!
And not even a 20 cent. So 20-cent minimum is.
It actually is a 20 center.
Oh, okay. 20 cent pick 6. Okay, but it's about me right now, Kurt. So $4 exacta box. I've upped it a little more. I like the 3 horses that I got. $4 exacta box 5, 7, and 8.
Last year's pick 6, $345,000. I'm in for throwing in $60. So I'm taking 3-8 with 3-7-11 with 3-5 with 1-11-18, and then I'm rounding it out with a whole bunch in the last, and I put the 21 in there, so that is the also eligible. So if there is no scratches, you can take the 21 out and it'll be cheaper. 1, 8, 9, 12, 18, 21 is $57.60. All right, on to our race number 8 bet Stretch. Whoa.
Yes,
pretty
here
big
we go.
one.
It's one of my better plays that I like. So we're going to go 20 win on the 2, 40 place on the 2.
And myself, I'm doing the exactor box. I'm boxing 3, 7, 11, a $5 box for $30. Now Stretch on to race number 9 bets. What do you have?
I got a pick 4 to close it out.
Imagine that.
Yes,
You're finally into the pick pool.
Yes, here we go. 7, 9, and 10 with the 2, 7, and 8. With the bunch as mentioned, 1, 3, 6, 7, 8, 10. And just the 7 and 8 in the last.
And myself, I'm doing the tractor. I'm putting the 3 on top. And then putting 2, 4, 5, 7, 10, 13 for second and third. At $1 tractor, $30. Now on to race number 10, the Distaff. What do you have, Stretch?
I've upped my exactor box because I'm building up the bankroll.
There we go.
$10 exactor box, 2, 7, and 8.
And I'm bombs away. I'm going 10 win place show on the 11. Now on to race number 11, the Turf Classic. What do you have, Stretch?
Okay, I can truly say I included your eight.
Are you the exactor guy?
That's
this
what
year?
we're going.
Well, they pay so well.
They
There's
do
nothing
pay,
wrong
and that's
with
why I
that.
got 5 of them. And,
Great
and,
idea.
And that's what you can do throughout the day. You get a couple of the price horses. You don't want to miss out by spending, maybe an extra $8. So $2 exacta box, 1, 3, 7, 8, 10.
And myself, I'm going a $1 exactor, but I'm taking the 8 with all, and then flipping it over and taking all with 8. That'll cost me $22. Now on to the Derby, race number 12, Stretch. Wow, you got a little bit of everything.
Little bit of everything. 3 bets. Let's start with the $3 exacta box, 7, 8, 18. And then an exactor wheel, $3, 7 and 8 on top with 7, 8, 9, 18, and 21. Same thing as you mentioned.
Oh, look at you throwing that in there.
The big bet to close it out on the 8, because you're saying the favorites are kind of running second. So just in case something happens, 100 place 8.
And myself, I went big on the last race. I love boxing in this. I'm not usually a person who boxes a lot, but in a race like this, it's hard to key someone, and I don't want to get beat if it's upside down, so I'm doing a 60-cent tractor box, 1, 8, 9, 12, 18. And remember, that also eligible is a 21. It could get in, it might not, but if it gets in, that ticket will cost me $72.
Yeah, and take note, you made a good point that you don't like to you like to use wheels in smaller races and box, and so that's the important part. You don't have to bet. You don't want to bet the same way every time. And just like I did, the exactor box is different value. I think what make people mistake is they do the same
each and every time.
So a Kirt bet, you're not going to do a Kirt bet in the Kentucky Derby.
No, definitely not. But if you do a Kirt bet and you hit a $4 try or a $5 try, you're going to be buying yourself a new car probably.
Absolutely.
Well, we'd like to thank everybody for joining us for the Kentucky Derby preview. And just a reminder, live racing does resume Tuesday, May the 13th. May the horses be with you and make all your photos be winning ones.